This episode is brought to you by the Godfather Foundation. It was created to break the cycle. They want to empower parents and families by providing them with the tools and resources they need to be successful in recovery. They offer case management, peer support, educational classes such as budgeting, credit repair, parenting, job referral, application assistance, cooking, and fentanyl awareness. They are very excited to start this new I Am Not Okay meetings in January. They will be holding these meetings every day. It is okay not to be okay, and you are not alone. These meetings are for everyone in the community that would like some extra support in their lives. They encourage participation from other groups. This is not a class meant to replace weekly groups, therapy, or any medical advice. They're here to provide extra support on those bad days. We are here to remind you it's all going to be all right. Welcome back to another episode of Evolve and Prosper, where we are bringing you real stories of what it takes to overcome, whether that be addiction, mental health, or just overall tough times life may throw at us. And we are back with another great example of that. And we are here with Nicole. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you for coming on here and sharing some of your time with us.
Yeah.
We'll just go ahead and get into it. So you struggled with addiction, correct?
Yes.
What was your drug of choice?
Meth. I did meth for a long time.
What?
20 years.
20 years?
Uh-huh.
And how long are you clean now?
I will have 4 years clean on the 22nd of February this month.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Looking back on it, what do you think got you involved with that lifestyle?
Playing the victim. I always felt like I was a victim in every instance of my life, and not realizing my part in all of it and blaming everyone else for the bad choices that I was making.
This was prior to getting into meth?
Yep.
Yeah. What introduced you to meth?
A guy. A boy, but hard times. I had been working as a surgical technician and got let go from my job for something that happened previous to in my pharmacy technician profession, and it wasn't fair what happened, and so I was fighting for my job back to get my job back, and in that downtime, I ended up getting my job back, but in the 2 months between the time they let me go and the time I got it back, I picked up a meth pipe. And it seemed to make all my troubles go away. And it was easier to cope with life, just being numb to everything.
Being high.
Yep.
Yeah. And meth, man, just like any other street drug, but it grabs you and pulls you in that instant.
Yep.
You know, were you functioning when you started at the time, or did it progress pretty quickly?
It progressed pretty quickly. However, I did function. I actually did surgery. I was a surgical technician for about 3 years doing meth.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Yep. And that's why when it all started going down, I feel like it was such a surprise to me that everything fell down so quickly, because I was a functioning addict for a long time.
Wow. Were you like paranoid or anything, doing like procedures and shit?
Not necessarily. I feel like it made me feel like I was invincible. Like I could do anything and everything, but it got to the point where I had to use so often that it was definitely noticeable.
Yeah, just to stay awake and just to feel normal, huh?
Yep.
And so what happened with that? Did you just the side effects of using kind of just took over and lost your job?
Yep, I ended up chasing the drug rather than a paycheck, and I just I mean, just like anybody who does meth, you're never on time. You know, you start to make up excuses. You start to look pretty haggard, trying to stay awake all hours of the day and night and trying just to, manage. And it just wasn't happening any longer. So I quit. I
Yeah.
quit my job and ended up homeless out in Salt Lake.
Just using.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy. I remember when I was using, it was almost, and I was the type where I would just use by myself and like completely isolate. But I would feel like I would have to stay up at night because I would be missing out on something.
Yeah.
And like it's just like the psychological warfare that it brings is crazy.
Yeah.
So after that point, what did life look like? Like, how crazy did the addiction get?
It got pretty wild. I lost my apartment. I lost everything, and I didn't care. Like, I was on the street out in Salt Lake, doing the most, slinging dope whenever I could to get free dope for myself.
Support your habit.
Yeah, just to support my habit. And then I ended up really sick, and I thought, well, there's something wrong with this dope. I'm taking it back. So I took it back to my dealer and said, hey, there's something wrong with this. And he's like, I don't know. I think it's you. And I'm like, no, it's not. I need new dope. And then he gave me new dope, and I was still sick. And it turns out I ended up going to jail and finding out I was pregnant for the first time. And that's when everything kind of changed for me at first. I moved back home and had my first baby at home. But as soon as I had her and everything was in the clear there, I went right back out and started using again.
Yeah, man, it's crazy like how we through addiction we'll go through these spurts of like using, getting clean, and during those clean times, it's like, I mean, what do you feel like pushed you back out there, like after everything was good with your baby?
Probably just in my mind, I knew that my daughter was okay. She was healthy. I started, this is so dumb, but I started working at auto leave. Started working grave shift. And I thought that I could actually work all night long and then come home and be a mom to my baby and not ever sleep. And I mean, it lasted for a couple of weeks at first, and then I needed something to keep me awake.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what that was, and that was meth.
Yeah. Man, so learning or at that time, like failing to recognize what a trigger is, or even knowing what a trigger was.
Right.
Sounds like, huh?
Yep. I had no idea. And I'd never seeked out help. I never had any kind of treatment or anything at that point. And so, I mean, I just went with it,
Yeah. And then did you end up losing that job too because of
Well,
drug use?
yeah, I lost that job due to the drug use, but my mom and I I was living at my mom's at the time, and due to my use, me and my mom couldn't see eye to eye on anything, and it was like a constant fight. And I ended up moving out of her house with the baby, homeless in a truck, in just this truck, and trying to manage going to work and trying to take care of my baby at the same time. I ended up calling in sick to work too many times. And then the last time I was going to call in sick, I left my baby at a babysitter's house so I could be at work and not get let go. And it turned out I left her with some really bad people that did some really bad things, and they tried to kill her with meth at 10 months old. So I left work early that night because I didn't feel right.
You just had a feeling?
Yeah,
something
just
was
had
wrong?
a bad feeling. And so I went to their house, and they threw her out the door at me, and she was hot to the touch. It was really scary. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And so I took her straight to the hospital where she tested positive for meth.
Wow.
Over the course of 4 days, they filtered 3 grams of meth out of her system.
Jeez.
She was only 10 months old. So
Wow.
they escorted me out of the hospital and gave my mom and my brother custody of her. And I ended up going to jail. And
For that?
No, actually, for having no address probation violation.
Wow.
It's the dumbest thing in the whole world, but I did 8 months on that. So
yeah, they do that.
yeah. So I got picked up at DCFS at my 1 hour visit because of my no address probation violation warrant.
Wow. So take me through that. What were you were obviously using at the time this happened?
Yep.
So what was going through your mind at that time when you get your baby? You got it. Is it a boy or girl?
It's a girl.
When you take her to the hospital and you're finding all this out, you're still using, like, and then this happened with some people that you thought you could probably trust, right?
Right.
But you're in that addict mindset still. So, like, what was going through your mind?
At that point in time, like I said, taking the victim stance was my MO.
Yeah.
I, at that point in time, didn't see my part in it at all. I didn't realize the reasoning behind why they harmed my child at that time, but I knew that they did. And so when they escorted me out of the hospital, in my crazed mind, I was going to kill these people.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I instantly, knowing I couldn't go back and be with my baby, I instantly went and got a gun and got my last paycheck from auto leave and went and bought as much dope as I could. And I hunted these people and landed. That's where I was just on the street. I didn't have any accountability. I was looking for these people. I was going to kill them.
Yeah.
And my parents and my brother, everybody thought that, like, I had done this to my child. Like, nobody knew the real story. So they all basically cut me off. I didn't have any communication with any of them. And so I was not knowing what was going to happen with my baby. I knew that she lived. I knew that she made it and that she was going to be taken care of by my mom and my brother. So at that point, I knew I could see her 1 hour a week at DCFS, and for every other hour of the week, I was hunting those people.
Wow.
And yeah, I ended up getting arrested on my no address probation violation. So
dang,
it saved their life and mine.
Yeah.
So
well, and most importantly, your baby was okay.
Yeah.
Was there any long-term effects from that? Do you know?
They said that the doctors are saying there's no residual effects. She does have ADHD and ODD, but so do I.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
She's very smart, and she plays comp basketball for Ogden.
Nice.
She's doing very well.
That is awesome.
Very well.
That is awesome. Now, what? So you go to jail on the probation violation. How long did you do on that?
8 months.
Now, was that enough for you to stop?
No.
Or no, you kept going?
Well, I got out and I did really well. I got into sober living out in Sunset, and ended up getting a house up in North Ogden and getting my oldest daughter back. So she was in my brother's custody for 18 months, and I got her back, and I was doing really well. And just out of nowhere, I wanted to celebrate for my birthday, and somebody offered me some meth, and I took it, and then I was off to the races again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? Like, so you had 8 months?
8 months in jail.
So 8 months in jail.
I had a year and a half clean.
So a year and a half at that point, and something just so quick like that, like, flips in your mind to where, like, oh, okay, like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because I feel like after you get so far into your recovery, if you don't keep feeding that recovery with, like, meetings or, helping other people get out of that state, if you're not feeding your recovery with anything, you almost feel like you've got this, like you can handle one hit, or, you can handle one drink, and you don't think that it's going to be hard to say no to another one.
Yeah.
And as soon as I took my first hit, it was my brain was right back in exactly where it was when I was in my active addiction, and there was no stopping it. And so I feel like once I got so far in my recovery, I really did feel like I was okay, like I was cured, and I didn't have to keep working on myself, and that's where I stopped doing.
Yeah, so back into full-blown active addiction.
Yep.
What was life looking like at that point?
At that point, I was still a functioning addict. I was a good mom, for the most part. I hate it when people say, even though I was on drugs, I was a good mom.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter had food, she had a roof over her head, like, she was clothed, bathed. I mean, but I was never there. I was never present.
Yeah.
And I held down a job for the most part until I got fired for being late again, and then I got evicted and got into another place real quick before they seen the eviction, and I ended up ultimately losing that place too, and getting a distribution charge, going to jail, and finding out that I was pregnant again.
Yeah. Were you still on probation too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, dang. So you caught a new charge while on probation.
Yeah.
So did you end up going to prison? Did they offer you
I didn't. They threatened to take me to prison for at least a year, but then they offered me treatment. They said you can either go to a residential treatment center or you can go to prison. And of course, I decided residential treatment because it also gave me the opportunity to do the family recovery court program and get my oldest daughter back because she was taken for me again. So.
Now, was she taken to the state, or did she go back with your family?
My mom took her again, but there was an open DCFS case, and they were not going to give me her back. They weren't going to give her back to me unless I completed the family recovery court program, which is a year-long program. So
yeah, I'm familiar with it. How did that? How did you like the program?
The program. At first, I didn't want to do it in my head, but I knew I had to do it. That program honestly saved my life. And when I went to the residential treatment center, I still had reservations. I was still, I was pregnant in there, not wanting to be there. But then there's some higher power that forced me to buckle down and do everything that I needed to do.
Yeah. So did you? What do you say you learned the most through that program?
The most I learned through that program is you've got to make sure you feed your recovery. Like, you've got to stay in touch with your recovery community. You've got to make connections with people that you can reach out to when all of the support from like Weber Human Services is gone.
Yeah.
Going to meetings is huge, but going through treatment and therapy, the biggest thing for me is boundaries and being able to be accountable and seeing my part in all the things that had happened instead of taking a victim stance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the theme through this so far is playing the victim and not having accountability.
Yep.
How did you switch that mindset from not playing the victim into taking accountability for yourself and not taking it as a victim,
being the victim,
the victim mentality?
To be real honest, it was going through the 12 steps of NA.
Okay.
And it's where you have to take a moral inventory of yourself, and you have to, all the people that I used to run the streets with, all the people I thought were my friends, all my family were all gone. Nobody wanted anything to do with me. I realized at that point, there was one person that came to visit me, and he came up and he stole my food stamps card, and that was the last I ever saw of him.
Fucker.
Yeah, so I sat there in my hospital room alone with my thoughts, and that's when I knew, like, this is not worth it. I've got to hang my hat up. I'm not ever going to beat the game. No matter what I do, none of these people that I thought were going to be there for me are not.
No.
And nobody's going to do it for me. I have to do this on my own, and I have to put all the work in myself until anybody that matters comes back around.
Yeah. You got to, like, prove to yourself that you can do it, which your actions will speak to, everybody else.
Right.
So was that, because I know, like for myself, like, they say it's a progressive disease, right? It gets worse and worse each time that you do it.
Yeah.
When I got clean this time, I started telling myself, like, well, if that's true, then if I stop all this, then life can get progressively better. But it doesn't happen as fast as the fall off,
Right. Right.
And so like you knew you were done, but what was like going through your mind? Were you like trying to fix everything at once, or did you know that you had to like take it day by day, or literally like minute by minute?
Well, as addict, I am a creature of instant gratification. The first time, the first thoughts that go through your mind are, okay, well, I want this kind of life. I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want it all now.
Yeah.
Not even thinking about the steps I'm going to have to take to get there. And so at first I was very overwhelmed with all of the thoughts of how I'm going to do all of this. I did have a lot of help from Weber Human Services to help me sort through all those thoughts and take one thing at a time. When I first as soon as I got done with treatment there, I was there for 9 months because I couldn't find a place to live. I had an eviction, a second-degree distribution charge, a third-degree possession charge, all of these charges that were, deflecting me getting my own place to live, which also hindered my DCFS case. But it all came to me in steps. Like, you have to take each thing one thing at a time, and it's hard. It's hard, and not getting the mansion that I wanted right away was like devastating.
Bothering you, huh?
Yeah, like bad, because I know that I'm putting the work in and I deserved it. It was just getting it was not going to happen. And so taking things slow and actually like realizing where we're at and the destruction that we've caused, and knowing we're going to have to do the work to make anything better. I ended up with a little crap hole apartment that was teeny tiny, that was super expensive. I had to live there a year before I could graduate to the next one. And I mean, every year I just moved to the next best thing. And it's hard.
Somebody told me one time, you do the right thing, you keep doing the right things, the next right thing will happen.
Yep.
And that's like the truest shit that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because the addiction takes over so quickly, and we, fall off so quickly that we forget that all that has to be addressed in order to progress in the other direction in life.
Yeah. And it's crazy how all of a sudden things just start working. Like, it felt so like it took so long for my life to start panning out, but all of a sudden, once it did, it was like one good thing after another, after another, after another. And it almost got to the point where the good and the positive things were so overwhelming in my life that I didn't know how I was going to handle it. And in the past, I used to handle it by getting high.
Yeah.
And self-sabotaging.
Yep.
And it's just nice to have a recovery community that I can reach out to and express these feelings to when I am feeling that way, because then somebody comes along and says just the right thing
at the right time.
At the right time.
Yep.
And just like you said, doing the next right thing is key.
Being honest with yourself and situations that like avoiding situations and people is so huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And boundaries, like having firm boundaries with people that are not going to put the next right thing in your path.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Or try to bring you down to like back to their level.
Yep.
Because they say misery loves company.
Yep, and it sure does.
Yeah.
And when people that you used to use with see you being successful and see the things that are good in your life, they either want them or they want to take them, and they will.
Yeah.
If you allow that.
Yeah.
And so when they say you need to change everything for anything to change, it's the truth.
Yeah. Change is mandatory.
Yep.
Especially in this. Well, I just feel like in all aspects of life, like you want to get somewhere, you have to, or you want certain things, you want to live a certain life.
Yeah.
Like change is mandatory to get there.
Yep.
So how do you keep yourself in check, and how do you deal with maybe triggers or certain situations that may be thrown at you out of nowhere?
I go to a meeting. Or I reach out to, I work with a lot of good people who have been through similar things as I have, and I reach out. I had a sponsor that I would reach out to just up until recently, but I reach out. I reach out, and it gets easier every time I have to reach out. It gets easier to dial that phone number, or to go to a meeting. And a lot of the time, when I am having a rough time, I go to a meeting and I don't say anything because I like to listen. And most of the time, I hear something that gets me through to the next moment.
Yeah. So is it safe to say learning to drop the pride to reach out?
Yep.
Or not listen to your ego and reach out to those that you know
Yes.
that are there for you.
Yes, and it's not a sign of weakness. If you're struggling. It's a sign of strength when you reach out and ask for help because you know the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you out of this, you found a career, right?
Yes.
And why don't you speak on that?
Yeah. After I completed family recovery court, my therapist said, "Hey, there's a case management job open here at Weber. I want you to put your application in today. I'm gonna discharge you as a client." And I said, "No way, no way. I don't want to do this. I've been going to treat me here for over a year. I lived in the residential treatment for 9 months. I don't want to come work here." And she goes, "No, that's what you're going to do." She's like, "Just do it." And I said, "Okay." So I took the suggestion. I just did it, even though I didn't want to, and ended up with the case management peer support position
That's
at
awesome.
Weber Human Services, doing what helped me get out of the hole that I was in. So being able to help people get out of the hole I was in every single day, and it's amazing.
That is awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And it's almost like a constant reminder of what seeing new people come in to Weber Human straight off the streets, you know, coming off of shit still probably.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's a constant reminder of what life can be if you don't keep yourself in check.
Yep, it's a every second reminder of where I don't want to ever be again. And being able to help someone see the light at the end of the tunnel and see that there is hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I was right there in the same chairs as they are. I mean, laughing with a mohawk, thinking that, these guys are going to help me, you know, laughing about it, thinking it's so funny. These people think they're going to help me change my life. And then they did.
Yeah.
And now being able to sit back, they gave me the nicest office. Like, I've got the office with windows, with plants. I mean, it's
Sick.
crazy. I was all a huge trip to me. I'm sitting in my office thinking, holy shit, I don't deserve this. This is crazy, you know?
Yeah, but you do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's awesome that they do that because it gives people hope, and it gives people someone to look up to that has actually been through the system from start to finish, and now you hold a position to help them, and that's so cool. And I wish they would do that a lot more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And it is amazing. And I work with a ton of amazing people who have been, you know, everybody's journey is similar, but different.
Yeah.
And I mean, for clients to be able to come in and actually relate to similar things you've been through, they know that you're not just reading out of a textbook on what to do or what to say.
It.
You already know. You've been there, you've done that, and you're there to help them get out of that too.
Like, you live that life, and you're also showing that it's possible to live a good life on the other end of it. And that's so dope, and it's a powerful thing, but it doesn't work until you're ready.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It doesn't work until you're ready.
Yep. You've got to be willing to change, and you got to be able to trust the process.
Mm-hmm. Now, so both of your children are with you?
Yep.
And walk me through, like, the pride you get in that.
Oh man.
Compared to, like, what you've shared already and what you've gone through with your children.
Well, I can say, no matter what I was going through, I knew that I was going to get my kids back, my daughter back. My little baby, she's 3. She has never been taken from me. She's never been through what my 9-year-old has been through. But I now can be present. I can be there with them. And I'm telling you, being 41 with a 3-year-old is is another beast. but
Yeah.
they are my pride. They're everything. They are everything, and they are doing so well. It is awesome to be able to walk in and drop my little baby off at dance. You know, she does tap and ballet, and yeah, I don't fit in with the dance moms at all. But you know what? My little girl's the best dancer in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Test me.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know
You
who I
don't know
used to
me.
be. Yeah.
You don't know me. Like, don't make the gangster come out, okay?
Yeah.
But then my oldest daughter, who she went through, she was right there. She was my road dog. She was
Mhm.
right there in all the bullshit with me, and for her to be getting good grades, and for her to, she does have a little behavior problem,
Mhm.
but at the same time, so do I.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes her even stronger. And she is so strong. She is so great, talented, and both of them are just so beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I can be there. I
That's
can be
the
present.
that's the thing, and being able to go to dance, being able to, and it's weird. Like I get really prideful, like just like being able to go to the school and like have rapport with the school. Even though
Yeah.
my kids at like beginning of the year were little shits,
Yeah.
and but even to just to be able to show up, be present,
Yeah.
and care about their schoolwork, care about their well-being, providing that rooful, safe and stable environment.
Yep.
That's compared to where we once were, to be able to do that, like it gets stressful at times.
Oh,
Like,
man.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we can be proud of ourselves because
Yeah.
of who we once were to who we are now, and building this life for our children.
Right. And showing my girls that they can do hard things.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm not a secret about. I don't keep it a secret. I'm not shy about telling her teacher, like, listen, we've been through it,
Mhm.
and I am a single mom, and I do struggle, but here we are, and we're still going to come out. We're going to come
Showing
out on
up.
top. We're going to keep showing up, and we're going to keep doing the damn thing, because you know what? If that's when you fail, is when you stop trying.
When you stop trying.
And showing my daughters that it doesn't matter what hurdle we have to jump, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. We're gonna get through it.
And we're gonna make it.
Yep.
And so now it's super awesome to be able to pull up to my townhouse in my nice vehicle, and my daughter doesn't have to be embarrassed about the beater car we're pulling up in, and being able to provide for them and make them dinner and put them to bed every night, knowing that we are safe and we're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
More than any drug could
Yeah.
take, or I don't know.
There's no high. There is
Yeah,
no high
there we
that
go.
any drug could ever provide that could make you feel the way you do when you're being successful and you're there for your kids and you're there for yourself.
Yeah. So nowadays, because I just believe, like, after so many years removed, and after doing the right thing, and molding your life to make sure that you don't go back to that. I know I find myself still dealing with like the mental aspect of like not wanting to go use, but just like maybe the side effects from using, like the mental health, whether that be like depression or anxiety. Is that something that you struggle with now, or no?
Not so much.
Yeah.
And I think it's partly because I keep myself so busy.
Yeah.
Like just always running. But I do struggle sometimes with anxiety, and I do struggle like with becoming overwhelmed and thinking in my head that I'm not good enough or I'm not doing enough. But that's where being present and having self-awareness comes in, because that's when you go and see somebody, or you talk to somebody, get into therapy, or if maybe you have some kind of a chemical imbalance because of the past, and getting checked out, and actually being able to go to a doctor and ask. And pride and ego is a huge part of taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And letting that down and saying, hey, I really do have something wrong is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
But like you've been saying, once you do that and you let it out, like you feel so much better, because we're our own worst enemy. And
Yeah.
being in here all the time, is never a good thing.
No, no. And once I start to get into my head, I started thinking some crazy stuff,
Mhm.
like, yeah, we could, let's go rob somebody, or, and I get in my
Yeah.
head, I'm like thinking this is going to all work out just fine, but reeling it back in and knowing that that's not the right thing to do,
Yeah.
like if you need money, you can call your mom, like
Yeah.
your support is back, like,
Yeah.
like you don't have to do extreme things in extreme circumstances anymore, like.
Yeah. And so tell me, with you mentioned your mom and you've mentioned your brother, um, mending those relationships and having that support back. What does that mean for you?
It means the world to me. My mom and my dad and my brother are all that I've got. And it took a long time to get like my brother to see, but it wasn't the fact of making him see. It was actions that I had to take, and I couldn't keep waiting around for him to answer my text messages. And I mean, I couldn't sit back and wait for him to just be ready to talk to me. Like I had to just keep going and show him through all of my actions without bugging him. Like I'd blow his ass up. Like, why are you not texting me back? Like, I'm telling you, I'm doing good. I love you, and you're just ignoring me. And finally I just had to let it go and just keep going on the path that I was on.
Yeah.
So later on down the road, when he was ready, when it was time, when he had seen and knows, like for himself, like it was on his time, it wasn't on mine.
Mm-hmm.
And for that was a really terrible time in my head to wait for him to come to that moment, but at the same time he finally did. And now that I'm good, like it's never been better.
That's awesome.
And I cherish every second that I get with my family. Anytime we're together, it's the most beautiful, beautiful thing anybody could ever ask for.
Don't take it for granted anymore.
No.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you for that, because we don't realize that in those moments, and this kind of goes back to the victim mentality, when our loved ones don't want to be around us anymore, we play that victim role and we think that we're not that bad or we weren't doing that bad.
Right.
So to realize that, to recognize that, and for you to let it go and finally just work on yourself, that's the way sometimes it has to be.
Yeah.
And so for it to come back full circle and you got the support now, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And I'm just so great. I'm grateful that, I'm grateful for second chances, and I'm grateful that, my family did come back around, because it's a lonely world out there.
Yeah, it is. and you're by yourself, whether you are in a trap house or you're with people that are using.
Yeah.
Like you guys are all just, lost souls on this, addiction journey, active addiction journey.
Yeah.
And so to be able to, like I said, come back full circle, and now you have that support and you have that great relationship with all your family.
Yeah.
That's so awesome, and that's what it's all about.
It is what it's all about. And my brother and my dad are the only man figures in my daughter's lives, and it's amazing, because who better to have than them to be examples for my girls.
Exactly. That's awesome. Well, we'll get wrapping up. Is there anything else you'd like to share, or a message you'd like to, maybe some encouragement for someone that might be going through it, something similar?
No matter how down you are, no matter how rock bottom you hit, there's always hope. There's always positivity. Like, no matter how negative it is, there's always a positive, because life has to be balanced in that way. Forgive yourself, reach out, and just realize that everybody deserves a good life, and you're worth it.
Yeah, I like that, and I couldn't have said it any better. So thank you for carving out some time for us today and coming on here and being vulnerable.
Anytime.
And sharing your story. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. You can find all our social media links on our page below. And if you want to help support the show, you can go to evolveandprosperapparel.com. And until next week, thank you.